Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss The Wolf of Wall Street, starring Leonardo DiCaprio, Jonah Hill, Margot Robbie, Matthew McConaughey, Jon Favreau, Rob Reiner, and Jean Dujardin, and directed by Martin Scorsese. Now, before I get into this review, I've seen some Scorsese movies in my life, and the reason I'm putting this one as the first one is because it was a surprise from the Wall Street 2 last week's show. Surprise, a bonus show. So, what did I think of this movie? Well, I will tell you how much I didn't like it beforehand. And because I thought it was too crude, too long, and too much for me. But what did I think of it today? Well, let's get into that, shall we? After the Paramount and Ren Granite opening logos, we opened the movie with the commercial that actually aired on some sports shows one year, and suddenly we get a narration of who Jordan Belfort is, played by Leonardo DiCaprio, and narrates scenes in the movie, which has some funny moments, and I'll talk about it as we go on the film. We also get introduced to Matthew McConaughey, who has a very minor role as Mark Hanna. Real guy, too, by the way. Who will tell Jordan some things he should or should not do while he works for Wall Street. And I like his character, but what I absolutely love is the way he hits his chest and makes music like I just did in the beginning of the show. Out of that. And fun fact, the real life guy didn't do that. McConaughey was prepping for the scene with him and Jordan at the restaurant, and Scorsese and DiCaprio saw him do that and decided to make that the theme, and made the whole fucking film the theme of the whole fucking film. And I love that story. It was just a good way to open up the movie. Reminder, you cannot make an R-rated comedy and make people laugh for 3 hours. It's just baffling that this is a 3-hour fucking movie. And also, I'm not the biggest fan of R-rated raunchy humor. It's not my thing, because I can't laugh at the sickest inappropriate humor. Like, there's some words I don't like saying whatsoever in my mind. And I'll talk about those words when I cross into the show, because chances are there will be one. It's not offensive. It's just not that funny in my opinion. But I'll give Judd Apatow a bigger chance than other directors, I feel like. But it's just not my favorite thing to look at after a while. There were times in the movie I was getting annoyed with boobs on the screen. There's too much nakedness in this movie, and that might be a problem. And it's not because I'm gay, which I'm not, but too much fucking nudity for nudity's sake is really just, it annoys the fuck out of me in my mind. Jonah Hill as Donnie Azoff. I don't quite understand the casting choice, because I can't take him seriously at all after his other movies like The Sitter, This Is the End, and my personal favorite R-rated raunchy humor kind of movie, and this was back when I was 17, and I still love it to this day, Superbad. And here it's a mixture of his comedies / serious role, whereas in another serious role, like in Moneyball, for example, he was too serious, which I don't get. But don't get me wrong. I like Moneyball, but this is a better role for him in my opinion. I like Moneyball better now that I think about it. I don't like this role from him. Brad, played by future TV Punisher John Bernthal, which I reviewed earlier in Baby Driver, believe it or not. I like his toughness presence in this movie, as well as Jordan's gang and stockbrokers. They were hilarious and acted well together. I meant it from the heart, by the way. I also like that they learned from a script on how to be a good salesman. A woman who wants to have breast surgery to make her boobs bigger and gets $10,000 to shave her hair off. There's something about that scene that got me a sick feeling in my stomach. But for some reason, I'm laughing and being entertained to fucking death. Rob Reiner as Jordan's father, a.k.a., and I'm going to quote this because this is a movie too, Mad Max, as they called him in the movie, who's our protagonist's father. He was fucking hilarious. Like, this was golden for Rob Reiner. I love the scene where Donnie alludes and says Steve Madden because he grew up with him, and the way Donnie and Jordan say Steve, and suddenly they show the commercial with the big heads. It was super funny in my mind. Naomi gets introduced to Jordan while Donnie is whacking off to her, and Jordan thinks she's a duchess. But the truth is, Margot Robbie is Australian in real life. And I didn't mind the character until we get to the end of the movie, when she is becoming a money-hungry whore at the end of the movie, as I will put it there. And I'll get there when I get there. Jordan and Naomi get married, and during the wedding party, plays Baby Got Back by Sir Mix-a-Lot, which I love that song, by the way, folks. And other songs, I can't think of the names off the top of my head, but I felt that scene was a little fun, but prolonged. But hey, Scorsese is never briefing anyways. And this is a long movie at 3 hours, especially for an R-rated raunchy humor comedy, which I brought up earlier, / biography. I mean, Jesus Christ! The scene when Naomi teases Jordan about her vagina, and yeah, this is one of the words I don't like, by the way, folks. And suddenly Jordan puts a camera in Fuzzy Bear's eyes, and the two Roccos were watching. I love the hell out of that scene. It made me laugh super hard. FBI agent Patrick Denham, played by Kyle Chandler, talking with Jordan about the guests list of the wedding, that Jordan and Naomi's wedding on the yacht of Naomi, is the best scene of the movie. Even Scorsese agrees this is a great scene in his opinion. The scene when Jonah Hill sings to Jordan reminded me of Superbad with the boop, boop, boop scene, which worked for Superbad than in this movie, I felt. Academy Award winner Jean Dujardin plays the Switzerland stockbroker to hide Jordan's money, and he has a good minor role, probably the second best compared to Matthew McConaughey in my personal opinion. When Donnie gets Brad into prison, that scene is when the movie begins to fall apart for me. And it gets seriously too fucking long. Like, get the movie going and let it end, for fuck's sakes. When Jordan and Donnie take some drugs that are super strong, that they go fucking minutes, they take 90 fucking minutes to make Jordan and Donnie so high that Jordan thinks he drove home safely, but bullshit. He crashes everything on the road. And I like that little fake out with Jordan's car, and Donnie calls the Swiss stockbroker to fuck around with him. And it became very unnecessary. I was like, I fucking get it. They both have a goddamn drug problem. Jordan almost retires from Wall Street after the car incident, but then decides to stay so he can make more money for himself and everyone who works for him. Is a scene that should have cut out of the movie. I felt like they should have cut that part out. The Steve Madden stock is being sold not by Jordan's company, but someone else. And Jordan and Donnie with Naomi and Donnie's wife are in an accident is another scene that really needed to be cut. And on the ship of Naomi, and it just crashes, you know. Jordan gets arrested by Denham and the FBI, and Jordan couldn't rat any of his employees out unless he had no choice. By the end of the movie, was a little pointless. Naomi wants to divorce Jordan, not only because of the FBI, but she doesn't love Jordan anymore because he's about to go to jail and he's no longer rich. It's a very selfish move on her, not only, but she's planning on taking the kids away, and I turned against her at that point. I started hating her more than ever in the movie. And I also hated Jordan at that point too, don't get me wrong. I hated both of them at that point by the end of the movie. After Jordan serves his time in prison, he's back bullshitting people to become Wall Street people, and that ending was bad because you know he'll be back to the Wall Street business. Yeah, just don't fall for it. Now it's time to rate the fucking long-ass movie that I like to call The Wolf of Wall Street. I'll give this movie a 7.8 out of 10. This movie needed to be cut 40 minutes to an hour out because the first 2 hours made the movie great, but the last hour is when it decides to die down, and I can't imagine comedy's working for 3 hours. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me for The Wolf of Wall Street, and until next time, ew, ew.